we have a special guest today. You know who we're going to be hanging out with? We're hanging out with Jayson Lowe, but this Jayson Lowe isn't married to Ben Affleck. Actually, he is a Canadian and he is killing it in business. And we are going to have a good time talking for the next half an hour or so and adding value to you guys, the entrepreneurs out there. What's going on, Jayson Lowe or Jayson Lowe?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's great to be with you. Things are outstanding.
I know there. You just got back from a fun trip. Let's talk about that in a little bit.
Sure.
But I'm going to get right to it so we can add value right off the bat, and then we'll talk about you a little bit.
Yeah.
Give one tip for what you do that adds value to our marketplace, and those are entrepreneurs, usually real estate investors. I'll leave it wide open. Go.
One tip?
Yep, one tip. Add some value right off the bat.
All that I do extremely well is bring purpose to other people's capabilities, and that creates massive value. So when entrepreneurs connect with me and they want to have a conversation about the current state of their business, whether they're moving from startup to sustainable, or maybe they're moving from sustainable to durable or durable to scalable, having a good coach, having somebody who can bring purpose to your capabilities helps you make those leaps and helps you move through those different stages in business. And any entrepreneur who's been through one or more of those stages is going to know exactly what I'm talking about, because you just don't know what your blind spots are. And so having somebody who's been down that path, who can take a look inside your business and identify some of those blind spots and then help you get them corrected, that value is incalculable.
Dude, I like that. Right off the bat, you're dropping some gems.
Isn't that good?
So yeah, I like that. Nice start. I like that. You're here, you're hanging out with us. Based on that, obviously you have some credibility. Tell us a little bit about your background and who you are and why you're hanging out with us here today.
Well, thank you for asking. I'm presently blessed to be the chairman of our Lowe family group of companies. We have 12 different businesses, soon to be 13. We're in the midst of an acquisition right now. But we specialize in our core businesses in Canada and the United States. Two of our core companies are Ascendant Financial in Canada and LifEva in the United States, where we've spent the past 16 years specializing in educating the general public. And we work with countless entrepreneurs, real estate investors in the implementation of the process of becoming your own banker, the infinite banking concept, which is described wonderfully in the book that my late mentor authored, titled Becoming Your Own Banker. And I was blessed beyond the definition of good fortune, to be mentored by Nelson for so many years. And for your listeners, to just add some additional value, there's a wonderful documentary film on the late R. Nelson Nash, who developed and pioneered this process. And that can be viewed at nelsonnashfilm.com. Again, that's nelsonnashfilm.com. And it's a 1-hour documentary. It was a labor of love and gratitude, and you'll develop a deeper glimpse into the essence of just how remarkable this man was. And the reason I share that, and I always begin with that in giving him credit and expressing gratitude, I wouldn't be in a position where we have a portfolio of 12, soon to be 13 companies, all of which are in profit, are thriving. We gainfully employ wonderful people. Without my having been exposed to the infinite banking concept back in July of 2008, you and I wouldn't be talking to each other right now. Mm-hmm. Prior to that, I was a senior partner with Dell. I was in a completely different world. I thought that climbing that executive ladder was my lot in life, and I learned a lot there. I did extremely well there. Forever grateful to Michael Dell and to the leadership team there. But venturing into the realm of being an entrepreneur, that in and of itself scared the crap out of me. But I'll tell you, and you and I can agree, and so can your viewers and listeners, running a business with capital is difficult enough. let alone
you're right.
Running it without capital. And so we structured our businesses, right from the get-go with, I'm the sum parts of everyone who's mentored me. And so I was able to transfer a lot of these skill sets and bring them into my businesses. And who Damon John is, your listeners and viewers would know. And he said, Show me an entrepreneur who's built one successful business. Success meaning you're in profit, your business is growing, it's viable, and it's investable. Show me an entrepreneur who's done that once, and I'll show you an entrepreneur who's worked extremely hard.
Yeah.
Show me an entrepreneur who's done that twice, and I'll show you an entrepreneur who's lucky. Show me an entrepreneur who's done that 3 or more times, and I'll show you an entrepreneur with a proven system, a method, and a process. And I think we're doing okay with a 12 batting average, soon to be 13. So, and that again is credit to all the mentors who helped bring purpose to my capabilities. And so now that's what I do with other entrepreneurs. I help bring purpose to their capabilities.
Yeah, nice work. So, by the way, didn't you do that? Aren't you kind of responsible for that documentary for Nash?
Yeah, that was commissioned by myself, and again, it was just a labor of gratitude. But Nelson was so humble. You know, he would often say, it's all about the message, not the man. And so he really wanted people to be exposed to the message, to the concept. And he was very humble, understandably so. He was just a remarkable man. I can't speak highly enough of him. But I'll tell you,
that's awesome.
What a joy it was to know him.
That's pretty cool. It was cool talking to you about it, because I know that how you held him in such high regard, and that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Here we are talking about it. Why don't you go ahead and mention? I think most of the people know about the bank on yourself, infinity investing, et cetera, et cetera. But why don't you go into a little bit more detail? Because obviously, if there's anyone who knows that concept, it's you. So
sure.
Go into a little bit more detail, and maybe how you can add value, or how your team adds value in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for asking me to do that. I always begin by sharing that unless you understand the problem, the solution just won't matter to you. And when people are first exposed to the infinite banking concept, it's most often, in my experience, and I speak to people about this every day, that they're exposed to it where the exposure is leading with the solution, and they don't even have an understanding of what the problem is. So let me give you an example. You're doing all the work to earn your income, and everyone else is getting all of it. That's a problem.
That's not good. Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah.
Right? That's a problem. And if you were to think about all of the things that you've purchased up to this point in your lifetime, doesn't matter how you paid for them, whether you paid cash, leased, financed, it doesn't matter. If you were to tally up that amount of money, I don't think you or any of your listeners or viewers could write me a check for that amount of money right now. You did all the work to earn the money. Everyone else got it. That's a problem. And I haven't met with anyone yet who has told me that they feel like they're not taxed enough. Have you?
Yeah. I want higher taxes. So probably not.
If you just envision this, you've got all this money that's flowing through your hands. And isn't it true that all of that money ends up on the books of someone else's bank? I say that again, someone else's bank. Is that not true?
That's true. I would agree with that.
So if you understand the problem, which is you're doing all the work, everyone else is getting all your money, including real estate investors, including entrepreneurs, we hear terms in business. You've heard this term a million times a day, I'm sure. Retained earnings. Yep. Who's actually retaining it? It's not the company. In the banking business, someone has to store the capital and someone has to move it. And there's no escaping that. You have to reckon with that. And so if you know that you can take control of that function as it relates to your needs, I'll give you a quick example. Your real estate investor clients are going to love this. Back in April of 2008, a few months before I was even exposed to this concept, you could get 40-year amortization schedules on mortgages in Canada. So my wife, Rebecca, and I purchased our principal residence. It was about a $426,000 mortgage. When I was exposed to the infinite banking concept in July of 2008, I began to implement it rather aggressively in our personal lives with Rebecca and I. We got rid of the conventional bank 33 years ahead of schedule. The method, the way that we were able to accomplish that, we paid premium. We purchased dividend-paying whole life insurance contracts with a mutual company, which begin to accumulate cash value immediately, right from inception. But what most people don't know is cash value is not money. It's the present value of the future payment of a death benefit. It's a life insurance contract. But the
That's all it is. That's exactly right.
But the insurance company itself gives you a guaranteed loan provision that's unstructured. You can borrow 90% of the available cash value you're not stripping anything away from the policy, because cash value is not money. The insurance company is lending to you in an unstructured format. So the loan has no repayment schedule. It's not reported to TransUnion or to Equifax. You're not triggering any taxation on the buildup of the cash value. You're not triggering any taxation on the death benefit proceeds. You can contribute almost unlimited sums of capital into this wonderful unilateral binding contract called dividend-paying whole life insurance. The value cannot be repossessed. It can't go backward. You participate in the divisible surplus generated by the insurance company because you co-own the insurance company. Dividends get declared once a year. When they're declared, they cannot be repossessed. They can't lose value ever. And you pay no tax. Ask yourself a question. If you understand the fundamental truth that your money must reside somewhere, how much of your capital do you not want residing inside of the greatest exemption that exists in the Canadian and American tax code?
In your own deal. Yeah, totally. I hear in your own bank, so you can do whatever you want with it.
Right. And so when I got rid of the conventional bank 33 years ahead of schedule, R. Nelson Nash was the first person I called. And I said, Nelson, you're not going to believe this. We got rid of the banker. And he said, whoa, don't celebrate too quickly. He said, you committed to a 40-year repayment schedule. I said, yeah, we sure did. And you got rid of the conventional bank 33 years ahead of schedule, didn't you? I said, yeah, sure did. He said, well, don't you want to be an honest banker? I said, of course. He said, you've got to finish that original loan schedule. You're just going to change the process of who's getting the money.
Yeah. Instead of the bank. Yeah.
Isn't that good? And so if you're listening and watching and you recognize the problem, the solution will actually matter to you. Versus if I just hopped on and said, oh my God, these dividend-paying whole life insurance contracts, they're the best thing before sliced bread. And I go through all the attributes that I just described. Well, the real estate investor is thinking, well, how does that compare to investing in real estate? The entrepreneur's thinking, how does that compare to capitalizing my business? The point that most people don't understand that I talk to, and I speak to Americans and Canadians every day, they don't understand the problem. So I could talk about the solution all day long. It's not going to matter to them. But once you grasp the problem, which is you're doing all the work, everyone else is getting all your money, every dollar that flows through your hands is a permanent transfer of capital away from you. You can't spend it again, save it again, earn interest on it again, not just for you, but for every future generation that comes after you. So ask yourself, how soon do you want to change that financial posture in your life? And you need to approach that with a beginner's mindset. And the real estate investor especially grasps this very quickly, because what do they want access to? They want ready access capital to take advantage of high caliber opportunities. And when you have ready access capital, opportunities of high caliber will track you down.
Yeah. They don't want to go to the bank. They'd rather be their own bank. So they, who would you rather ask for money? A banker or yourself, in effect?
Right. And who do you trust more?
And who do you like more, right? All right. So, I think people are going to understand. So, or I think so. But let's have a little bit of a debate here.
Sure.
Because we do these, right? And who knows? Maybe we're going to refer more business to you. We don't do enough, frankly, because I think in some cases they can really help clients.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Sure.
Because this is what I hear a lot.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Whatever. Let's just say someone has $100,000 a year. They're like, well, in the first year, all my money goes away to you guys, or to an insurance company, or to an insurance guy or girl. So what's your argument there?
Well, I would say in that specific example, it would just be an indicator that the policy was engineered for that outcome and it didn't need to be. So when you utilizing that same $100,000 example, you can engineer the insurance policy so that somewhere between 80 to 90% of the total cash value is available in the first year.
Yeah, and so you're using those type of companies. You're using specific companies and well-crafted policies. Is
absolutely.
What you would say.
Yeah. And again, acknowledging the fact that your money must reside somewhere, right? You have to reckon with that. And so this is not an either or, where should I put my money into insert product here, or should I become my own banker? You can't achieve a higher rate of return doing anything if you ignore who's controlling the function of banking as it relates to the thing that you're doing. And so this is all about implementing a process. The insurance contract is simply a product. It's a tool that's used to implement the process. But here's what I would end that example on. If you put the best tool for the job in the hands of an incompetent, not only is the incompetent not going to turn out any good work with the tool, they're going to break the damn tool. Yeah. And so that's why you need to have a good coach, somebody who can lead you through that. Our team at Ascendant Financial in Canada and LifEva in the United States, this is all that we do. This is all that we specialize in. This is all that we do. And we coach and mentor people through the process. And boy, what an incredible journey it's been the past 16 years.
Yeah, no kidding. So explain that a little bit more. I want to play devil's advocate a little bit more. So when you say that's all you do, let's be even a little bit more specific.
Sure.
Are you saying by that, you're saying, and coaching, are you saying you only do insurance, you only do the Nash way, or are you saying you only do the coaching? What exactly do you mean by that? Because I think there's some value that can be added there to a lot of people here.
Yeah, thank you for asking. So for clarity, so we specialize in the implementation of the infinite banking concept, which requires the placement of dividend-paying whole life insurance. Now, being that we're a life insurance agency, we have a fiduciary duty of care, right? So if we understand that you need some other form of insurance, we provide all living benefits. We provide temporary, permanent insurance. So we do that work for our clients. The coaching, the ongoing mentoring. So we have an amazing client portal. It's a password protected portal where we archive all of the ongoing coaching and training that we do. We do quarterly group client coaching training so that you don't feel like you're a lone ranger in implementing this process. You get to connect with our client community and surround yourself with other like-minded people who are at different parts of their journey with implementing this concept. All of those gatherings are recorded and archived in the portal. We do paint by number tutorials on how to access policy loans, how to repay them, how to build your system of policies. And then what this has blossomed into, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, is that entrepreneurs are approaching me and saying, Jayson, we'd love your help. Can you step inside of our business and help us move this business forward toward a bigger future? And that is what my teammates, I love my teammates. This is what they've named it. You're going to like this. The Lowdown.
By the way, his name is Jayson Lowe, L-O-W-E, in case you're wondering. Yeah, I got it. Gotcha. Hence reason J Lowe. I gotcha. Very good. Very good. You got some quick teammates there, man.
Oh, they deserve all the credit. Honest to goodness. I get to operate in my unique ability because I work alongside incredible teammates. And I share with my teammates all the time, never above, never below, always alongside. I'm never above you. I'm never below you. I'll always be right alongside you. And when you build a culture and you can do it repeatedly in different businesses, because Ascendant Financial and LifEva is not all that we do, as I shared earlier. We're in private lending. We're active in real estate as well. We have a thriving e-commerce company up in Canada named Canada Prep and Ship. So we're in a number of different businesses. But if you can duplicate success and you've got teams that'll literally run through the wall for you, then you're onto something from a coaching standpoint. And people, these entrepreneurs now who knock on my door and say, I want to be able to do what you do. And I would be remiss if I didn't clarify, like, I'm not naive in thinking that I am the sole contributor to my success. Like, I'm the sum parts of everyone who's mentored me, and I give credit where credit is due. And all that I do is implement what my coaches tell me to do. And then I'm able to pay that forward and help other entrepreneurs grow companies, gainfully employ people, contribute to the economy. And then through the infinite banking concept, they get to shield more capital from onerous taxation. And then they get to deploy capital to do what I just shared, which is grow their companies and build bigger futures. And so it's just a perfect combination. And I love it. Like I literally spring out of bed, especially on the days that I don't want to, because I know what leadership really is. And that's serving others. It's all about others. It's not about you. It's not about you anymore.
I know, Jason, you're a stud, dude. I believe in what you say. You
Oh,
really do.
thank you. I'm
So,
humbled.
okay,
Yeah.
so you really are. So wait a minute. So you have 12, 13 companies, but you only do one thing. You do a whole bunch of stuff. I can tell. But now I have so many questions for you. By the way, you mentioned unique ability. I'm going to assume you're a strategic coach pupil.
Yes, I've been blessed beyond measure to be mentored and coached by Dan Sullivan himself since October of 2018, and I cannot extend enough gratitude to that man. He is remarkable.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit.
Sure.
Man, you and I could talk all day. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing there, because I think he's helped me since like 2001, I think it was. I mean, he's the man. Why don't you go ahead and mention how he has helped your business? I'm sure there's some entrepreneurs out there that would be benefiting from hearing your story in that regard.
Oh, wow. Let me begin with one of the first incredible aha moments that I had with Dan. It was at our first quarterly meeting. It was in Toronto, Canada. And Dan begins the sessions with, he just literally dives right in and he starts coaching. And I had shared with Dan a little bit about our business at the time. And I was extremely competitive. And my number one objective was to win in the marketplace. And he shared something with me. He said, you know what? He said, have you thought about thinking collaboratively versus thinking competitively? And I said, can you expand on that? And he said, sure. When you begin to think collaboratively versus thinking competitively, collaboration opportunities will begin to appear everywhere. And you'll also develop opportunities to turn your competitors into your customers.
Yeah, or referral people, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah,
and so it was just like one of these aha moments where everything changed in the sense that I really, truly began to think collaboratively. And he was absolutely right. Collaboration opportunities began to appear everywhere. And every year since, our business has more than doubled. And so that's credit to Dan. And I'll share with you something else. When Dan developed the who, not how, philosophy, he was coaching to that long before the book came out. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't read the book titled Who, Not How, you have an opportunity. And here's what I mean by that. To any entrepreneur who's listening or watching, whenever you come up with a great idea or an objective, your brain immediately goes to, how am I going to get this done? How is my team, my company going to get this done? Shift your thinking to who. Who possesses the unique capabilities to help me get the hows done? And watch which begins to happen. You'll become a who finder, not a how procrastinator. And there's a big difference in the momentum that happens in your business. And so
it's people who make the business, there's no doubt about that. It's not the company, it's the people, and people really are who drives the success of a company. And if you can think like that, think of the people, then you'll be good to go. Dan Sullivan, he's made it so, even we're closed on Fridays. We only really work half the year the way we've structured everything based on his, his philosophy, strategic coach. It's out of Canada, I think Toronto, Canada, and also
Chicago.
Or Chicago. Yeah, Chicago. I think it's worth looking at for some of the people who are out there. And I'm very glad you're thinking along those lines, because
I'll share one more thing with you. This is probably going to be a highlight reel for your episode.
I like it. Give me some highlight reels, dude.
Here we go. So think about this. Now I'll actually lead you through this. Humor me.
I will.
Can you remember a time in your life when you were earning 10 times less income than you are today?
Oh, dude. Yeah. Are you kidding? Yes.
So you've already 10x'd.
Oh yeah. I know. And I think
so. Do it again.
But hold on. Before we go, but more than anything, I've been able to have more family time as a result.
Because you got clear on what you wanted freedom from.
Yep.
And what you were pursuing freedom to. So what do you want freedom from, and what are you pursuing freedom to? Is it freedom of relationship, money, purpose? What is it? And if you immediately think about what Dan Sullivan does such a wonderful job teaching, that 10x is much easier than 2x. People initially, when they hear that, they think, oh, okay, well, help me understand that. Well, when you think of 2x, you immediately think of double the work. So something that would otherwise be beneficial becomes pretty energy draining right out of the gate, versus 10x is far easier than 2x. And to get your brain thinking, because the human brain is really not capable of anything extraordinary, you've got to program it with specifics. So if you take yourself back to a time where you were earning 10 times less income than you are now, you're reminding your brain, hey, we've already done this. We've already 10x'd. Let's set about doing it again. But your brain's going to go, what do you want me to do with that information? You've got to be as specific as possible when you're defining what your bigger future looks like. And you should always be building a future that's bigger than your past. And the beauty about that bigger future, it's your property entirely. Yeah. It hasn't happened yet.
That's true. Very true. Yeah.
Right? So to anybody who's listening, especially your entrepreneur guests, you're always focused on bigger, faster, cheaper, and from this degree of productivity to a higher degree of productivity. I get all that, but get clarity on building a future that's bigger than your past, and decide, what do I want to bring into that bigger future, and what do I want to leave behind in the form of relationships, habits, because you're already 100% disciplined in your own set of habits. Systems, methods, process, whatever it is, decide what you want to bring with you into that bigger future and what you want to leave behind, and watch what begins to happen. It's remarkable. And so
I think our own brain
credit
is really
to Dan Sullivan.
Our brain is really what puts a ceiling on our success. That's the way I look at it. If you program, like Dan says, if you program your brain to success, then you have a higher likelihood of success. There's just no doubt.
Because the brain knows what you want to make an achievable reality. I sit down with entrepreneurs all the time and I say, okay, walk me through, if we were sitting down together, it's December 31st of 2025, what specifically would have had to have happened if you were to look back over the past year to today? What specifically would have had to have happened in order for you to feel remarkably happy with your progress? Well, the entrepreneur goes, well, I want my business to be bigger. I want to be earning more top line or more net income, whatever it is. Well, your human brain has no earthly idea what to do with that. Versus if I said to you, I'll give you a real example. I woke up December 2022 and I said, I'm changing starting today. I was 60 pounds heavier than I am now.
Oh, look at you. Serious? Nice.
And so I shared with my own brain, by December 31st, 2023, I am going to weigh 223 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
My brain said, I get it. That's specific. And then I immediately went to who, not how. I recruited a coach, a fitness coach, to help me get the hows done.
Mm-hmm.
The coach gave me the plan. I executed the plan. And it was just before August of 2023 when I hit the 223 pound goal.
Nice. Very nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. And again, credit to Mitch from Calvert Fitness. He's a wonderful guy. He's headquartered up in Canada. And he helped me. He was the who, right? Because if I would have got wrapped around the axle on the how, I would have procrastinated.
Yeah.
And ask yourself this question: is losing 60 pounds a good objective? Of course it is. So procrastination's a good thing. It means that the goal is good, but you're not the who. And so you procrastinate. When I went and found the who, I couldn't procrastinate anymore because he told me flat out, he said, if you follow my plan, you have a 0% chance of failure.
Yeah, I like that. Obviously it worked out for you. Whatever.
Oh my God, man.
Dude, that's good story.
Yeah.
By the way, going back to the strategic coaching, maybe even that, I think and you even mentioned systems. I think systems are really important. I think strategic coaching itself it's unbelievable. I think combining that with Michael Gerber's E-Myth as a combination works unbelievably well. If you have a system on top of a system, then you're really good to go. But that's so impressive. You now I know why you're so successful. One, you're a good dude. Two, I think you have a good philosophy as far as investing goes. Three, you're good with systems. I mean, I get it. I totally get it now from spending just whatever the few days we spent together, you know?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm humbled to hear that. And again, all the credit to my teammates who give me the freedom of time to operate in my unique ability. And if it's one thing that I just get so excited about, when I get to sit down with an entrepreneur and just take a really close look at their current state, and I can immediately begin to see opportunity to install whether it's people, whether it's a process, whether it's a tool to tech enable the business, whatever it may be. And then to see the entrepreneur actually execute what they're being coached to do, and they achieve those desired outcomes, the best results that they were looking for, that energizes me. That fascinates me and brings me energy. And you want to know, let me share this because I love to develop people. So you want to know what my definition, and again, coming from a place of humility, but my definition of a great coach is?
Go for it. I'm anticipating this one.
Yeah,
What is
you
it?
want to know? So do you like football?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's presume you got a football team. Who do you follow, if you don't mind me asking?
Washington State Cougars, undergrad, college.
So I love the Buccaneers because I lived in Riverview, just south of Tampa, with my wife Rebecca for a few years, and we loved it there. So the definition, in my humble view, of a great coach is if I called you and I said, look, first I'm going to beat you with my team, and then we'll trade places and I'll beat my existing team with yours.
I get what you're saying by that.
Right? And so in other words, if you have a playbook and a system and a method, and then you insert people and you know when to kick and you know when to hug, you're going to produce the desired outcome, the result. And it's going to happen. Like when I see potential in somebody, I'm going to get it out of you. I can absolutely assure you of that.
And by that, you probably mean two things, really: your teammates and, who knows, also clients. Probably both, really.
Yeah. Isn't that good?
Yeah, I like that. Nice work. So, all right. So let's kind of go back to kind of your core, if you will, product service. Yeah. Obviously, it's coaching, but under that, it would be the Nelson Nash philosophy or J Lowe's philosophy. I like that, by the way. You don't have nice as legs as she has, by the way. So after you've kind of, well, I guess I would call it structuring a client. Yeah. What then? What do you suggest what to do with the money? I guess what then?
That's a really good question. One of the things that we do is we keep a pretty watchful eye on the balance sheet and the income statement, and we're coaching along the lines of how can we radically improve what we're looking at here, and going through that very same exercise with the client to help them look into that bigger future, clearly define what they want that bigger future to look like, program the brain with as much specificity as possible, and then think about who, not how. So we refer clients to the right who's to get the how's done, but we're taking a close look at that balance sheet and income statement, especially with the business owner. And then from a personal standpoint, it's health, wealth, and giving. So we're encouraging folks to get healthier, and I will never ask anybody to do something that I haven't demonstrated myself. Ever. And so people look to my story and they say, wow, yeah, you know what? I think there's areas of my health that I can improve and get better at. So we place an emphasis there. And then the wealth is really just a direct result of the value that you're creating or not creating for other people. So we're really helping the client focus on that. And then the giving aspect. Giving is so important, not only for just the pure joy that brings and elevates your understanding and deep appreciation of gratitude, but it also puts you in a position where you want to create more value so you can be more giving. I'll give you an example. So in our companies, we have profit sharing. We prioritize profit first, and we share profit with our team members. And once a quarter, we look inside that profit pool and we take 50% of that profit pool, and we distribute it to eligible team members. And then those eligible team members take the remaining 50% of that profit pool, and they decide how to bless other people's lives and other organizations in a positive way in the communities where we live and work. And
look at you. Are you serious?
I am.
So that could be a huge number, right?
Oh, yeah. And does the team want to continue to make it bigger?
Got it.
And I intentionally stay out of those decisions because I don't want to be persuasive. I don't want to influence where the team decides. But I'll tell you, the stories that get shared among the team, about how they were able to bless someone's life and to bring a ray of sunshine to someone's day. Like, that is incredibly fulfilling. And when I say the profit pool, I don't mean 100% of the net income generated by the company. We take a portion of that and we prioritize it for the profit pool. So if we have $1 million of net income for that period, we'll take 200,000 of that and allocate it to the profit pool. And then the team, 100K gets distributed to all the eligible team members. And then the remaining 100K, the eligible team members say, okay, here's how we're going to divvy that up and really create this positive ripple effect. But it's the impact that it has on them. Doesn't it?
Yeah, you're doing good by doing good. I mean, that's huge. I mean, it helps your team. I'm sure it helps the clients because the team is feeling that much better about themselves or whatever the case is. So it's helping the client in the end as well.
And Joe Polish, credit to Joe Polish, the founder of the Genius Network. He often says that life gives to the giver and takes from the taker.
Yeah, totally. Huh?
Make sure that your gives are always bigger than your asks, and watch what starts happening in your life, in all areas of your life.
That really is true. If you give, I mean, in the end, you end up receiving. But hopefully people aren't just giving to give and give. There's some that comes back, but more than anything, if you give, it will come back. And there's a lot of truth and good in that.
Yeah, it's so true. And you can't withdraw from an empty account balance, right?
Yeah, that ain't going to happen. Yeah,
right. So
that's exactly right.
Be a giver. And then when the time is right, request a withdrawal, and there will be an account balance there.
Yeah, I hear you. Wow, this has been, again, you and I could talk all day. My gosh, but we don't have that much time. But wow, first, by the way, how does someone get a hold of you? Or no, would someone be working with you, or would someone be working with your team? Let's say someone has, I don't know, your average size client. Do they work with you or a teammate, or how exactly does that engagement work?
That's a really good question. So I'm personally not taking on any new clients. I am incredibly busy in our group of businesses and the entrepreneurs that I work with. So when people reach out, but I can tell you with absolute certainty, we've got the very best team, bar none. And I know because I've coached most of them. We now have teammates coming aboard that our head coach and his assistant coach's coach, but I've coached all of them. And so when you engage with whether it's Ascendant Financial up in Canada or it's LifEva in the United States, we make sure that you get connected with the right person on our team who is best equipped to serve you. And so we have a process where we determine that. We determine who is the best person on our team to serve you. And we're good at it. And so for folks who reach out, if there's entrepreneurs who need help from a coaching standpoint, then yes, you would be working with yours truly. But as it relates to purchasing dividend-paying whole life insurance contracts and implementing this process, when you work with the right person on our team, you get our entire team. So that's leverage. And our teammates have direct access to me. So when there's cases where my involvement would add value and would be beneficial, team members can call upon me to parachute in and add value. So hope that.
I got you. I got it. So then I got you. So you're doing coaching with people.
Absolutely.
But you're doing the whole life with people, new people.
We have a very capable team, both sides of the border, who do an incredibly great job at that every day.
Got it. So so I mentioned a little bit about, because I think when we met a while back, you said you're kind of expanding in the U.S. I know you have a presence there. But so what exactly is going on there? We have clients in both, by the way. But so expand a little bit more on your expansion in the U.S.
For sure. Yeah. So we began our operation out of the state of Florida, and that's blossomed into the state of Texas, and now moving into California. And by the end of Q3, we will be licensed coast to coast in the United States. And so,
got it. And you're saying when you're talking about that specifically, it's whole life and insurance, correct?
Yeah. But from a coaching standpoint, I'll coach any entrepreneur on the planet, provided that they're coachable.
Yeah. Help me. Let's say, explain that. Go into that a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. So
I don't know how that works.
My criteria for being able to work with an entrepreneur from a coaching standpoint to help them build their business is, first of all, they have to be operating a business that is sustainable. So it's a viable company. What makes a company viable? The company's earning very predictable stream of revenue. The company is in a positive net income scenario, and the business owner wants to move that company through to its next phase. Mm-hmm. And that's where I'm most helpful. And I'm not into the startup, entrepreneur. I won't be of much assistance there. But if there's a great business idea and an entrepreneur wants to, partner up on it, and meaning the entrepreneur brings the idea, we bring the rest, then I've had several of those discussions. I say no far more often than I say yes, but for the right fit client from a coaching standpoint, that would be the entrepreneur who's operating a business that's viable.
Got it. And you do that both in Canada and the U.S.
Sure do. Yep.
Got it. So let's get ready to land this plane. Because I'm going to ask you, would you be down with coming back another time? Because there's so many things you and I could talk about for another half an hour, maybe whatever, down the road, because I'd love to chat and, pull some more things from that brain of yours.
Yeah, I would be honored, of course.
Sweet. But first, how does someone get a hold of you if they're interested in whatever they'd be interested in? You have so many things going on.
Thanks for asking. I'm readily accessible on social media. So if you visit Facebook, JAYSONLOWE, that's JAYSONLOWE. So connect with me on Facebook, connect with me on LinkedIn. You can find me on the YouTubes and the TikTokers and the Instagrammies. Social media would be the great way to get a hold of me. I can't tell you the number of private messages that I receive on Facebook day in and day out. I have a great team of people that help, filter those messages and make sure that we action them. But don't hesitate to get in touch. I'd love to hear from you. And if I'm not the best who to help you get the house done, I've got a great network, and I'd be more than happy to refer other who's that might be helpful to your listeners and your viewers.
I love it. By the way, website. Do you guys have a website?
We sure do. So in Canada, it's ascendantfinancial.ca. Again, that's ascendantfinancial.ca. In the United States, it's LifEva.com. That's LIFEVA, LifEva.com.
Nice, man. This has been a pleasure. Remember, you promised, I'm going to make you promise to come back because we're going to have a good time. We're going to expand a little bit more on kind of your coaching. I think we didn't, there's so many things we could go over on with you. Man, oh man, I had no clue. For the little I've known of you, I know that you're a trustworthy dude. I know you're successful, very successful. You'd be a great coach. I mean, I'm excited for this next time, but I'm excited for this, what we've talked about. I think we've added some value to some people out there. If they've watched, listened from Canada all the way to Mexico, I think this has been a good episode, and I really appreciate you being here.
Make sure your viewers and listeners get their hands on a copy of the book titled Becoming Your Own Banker. This book, authored by my late mentor, R. Nelson Nash. It's a 92-page read. It'll take you less than an afternoon to get through it. And if you read the book with a beginner's mindset, your eyes will be opened up to a whole new financial world. This book, self-published, has sold more than 550,000 copies.
Isn't that crazy? That is absolutely crazy.
And there's a reason, because it works. And so make sure, and you can buy that book right from the Ascendant website. We'll ship it to you. We courier. We don't mail. Things get lost in the mail. So get your hands on a copy of the book. We sell it for less than Amazon, and we'll courier it right to your front door.
Hey guys, you heard what he said. It's that's in line with your service parameters. I love that. You know what I mean? That shows you have a good system. You're a good guy behind it,
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Awesome. Hey guys, once again, this is Ken French of VastSolutionsGroup.com. We're with the Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. It's been a pleasure. We're going to have Jay Lowe without the cool legs on another time. I appreciate it, guys.
Thanks for having me.
You like that?